Demolition. Not to be referred to as Demolition Man, which I seem to do every single time. I think it's because it's very much centred around an individual male. And the title of the
because
film...
it's called Demolition and it's about a man.
Exactly. So, not to be confused with the Stallone and Snipes film. For sure. So this is directed by Jean-Marc Vallée? We'll go with Vallée. Who obviously directed... Well, not obviously, but he directed Dallas Buyers Club and Wild, which are films that both did pretty well with the critics. Dallas Buyers Club, of course.
Yeah.
Very well. He kind of brings his sort of directorial style.
What is his directorial style?
It's so indefinable.
It's kind of just like the touching little human stories.
Yeah, it is. The character interactions are very sort of key to the film.
He's a director who's unique for having characters interact with each other.
And no style, apparently.
So anyway, this is a film that has kind of received a bit of a hard time from critics who haven't really liked it very much, especially compared to the other films. So what I should say... Well, I was talking about the directorial style. I mean, his editing style is quite distinctive. I was going to say, basically, the first half of the film has this rapid kind of editing pattern, which is almost feels a bit like a Tom Tykwer film, an early Tom Tykwer film, as in Run Lola Run, and Cloud Atlas, things like that. Just sort of that sort of editing style, Perfume as well. So yeah, it had that kind of feel to it, which is good, and that's kind of what the trailer suggests that it would be like. So the trailer gives it that impression, but I feel like the thing that the trailer doesn't dwell on is the kind of the sentimental side of the film, which maybe comes in about halfway in, and it does slow everything down, and it goes from being a kind of a dark comedy, which is genuinely quite funny, to a kind of fairly conventional romantic drama. Jake Gyllenhaal is very good. I mean, he was probably the big draw for me, really, Jake Gyllenhaal, because he is consistently very good. Naomi Watts is also very good. She plays a single mother. I haven't really explained what Demolition's about, have I? I should probably do that.
It's got an intangible directorial style. Characters interact. What more do you need to know?
Basically, Jake Gyllenhaal is an investment banker whose wife gets killed in a car crash. That's not a spoiler, because that is also in the trailer. And he starts writing letters to a vending machine company after he fails to be able to get a packet of M&Ms from a vending machine. And so what he does is these kind of letters serve as sort of confessionals, as ways for him to sort of deal with his loss, really. And that's kind of what this film is about, essentially, is a man trying to kind of get over the loss of his wife. So maybe it doesn't seem obvious that it would be a dark comedy, but rest assured it is, because Jake Gyllenhaal's a very kind of sort of like a I don't give a damn kind of character. He's sort of like a child in an adult's body, and I think the film basically is a lot about him growing up. So he goes and he meets who may or may not be someone who he interacts with previously. I don't think that's really a spoiler. And basically, he just sort of hangs out with her child,
right,
and kind of grows up a bit via that, really, and actually sort of kind of comes to terms with the loss.
But the performances are good then.
The performances are very good, yeah.
Okay.
And the directing is good because it is noticeable in that first half. It is distinctive. Whatever it is, it seems distinctive.
So what is the issue then? Just that it goes into sentimentality.
It does, but yeah, and it is. I know I said the same earlier about Green Room. Sort of this imbalance. If the whole film had been like that first half, that would have been fine. But yeah, it's a film that I came out of it thinking, yeah, I thought that was good. but it's nothing spectacular.
It did look like a film that would be hard to review because it looked kind of bland.
Yeah, and it just looked kind of like generic, quirky.
Yeah,
That's a brand now, like.
And I get that, that was one of the big things that was kind of criticised, is that it's just sort of quirkiness for the sake of it, which I did agree to an extent. But that first half an hour, that was for me a way of doing a kind of a drama film and making it engaging, because I really am not a fan of the melodrama. This was a way of kind of making that quite engaging. So therefore, when it reached its second half, I was kind of left disappointed. So kind of provisionally, I'm going to go with a 7 out of 10.